Okay, good evening and welcome to this class. So this is our review. What we do at the review class is that we bring all the questions, the concerns for the week, and we can discuss it one-on-one. So what I did this evening is to bring all the questions we have. I bring all the questions we have on the Telegram, not all, those we've not attended to, and we are attending to them right now. The class is being recorded so that you can go over it, or some people that miss the class, but we go over it right now. So I call it, this is what we call weekend review. We do this every weekend, and we believe most of us are workers. We go to work Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, and maybe we can spare just 30 minutes or 1 hour on weekends. 7 p.m. every Saturday till the class ends. This is what we'll be doing every Saturday after we've gone through our classes and questions. Now, the questions I picked from the Telegram this time around. Question from Telegram: in an area where there's no surface water anywhere close by, what do you suggest as a source of water? Then number 2, you mentioned creating a dam. How is that done? So we're going into that briefly. Now, question from source for land near, my response on the Telegram was that you should source for land near surface water. And then number 2 option is rain harvesting or creating a dam. So we're briefly going to explain them to ourselves. Now look at this. Don't mind me. Okay, this is what we call surface water. Some of us have land that are close to water. You can see when we say surface water, it means the water is showing, you can see the water on the surface. So you can just look for surface pump, because there's some pumps we call surface pump. And then you take them to the river here or to the dams, and you just start pumping water. You put hose and everything, and you start pumping water to your farmland. But for those ones, now, if you are using this type of surface water, it is the cheapest form of fuels. This is the type of pumping machine we use for surface pumping. This is surface pumping machine that we use for that water. This surface pumping machine, you can see the fuel tank. The fuel tank here takes about 2 liters, 3 liters, depending on the machine capacity that you are using. If this fuel tank cannot take more than 2 liters, it's more than 2 liters, maybe 3 or 4 liters. But you believe me, when you have 2 liters or 3 liters of petrol here, it pumps plenty water. Look at the discharge. This is the intake, inflow for the water, and this is the discharge. So it pumps very fast. So it saves you a lot of fuel. It's cost effective. It's the best form of pumping water or getting water to your farm for irrigation. Now, the second alternative for water is water borehole. When you have this type of water borehole, this is how it looks like. You fix irrigation, you have a water borehole like this, and when you have a water borehole, there are other apparatus you need to have on your farm. You need to have, this is a submersible pump that will be inside the water borehole. It's the one that brings the water. And the rate of water for this submersible pump compared to this surface pump is low. The surface pump water almost times 5 or times 10 of the submersible pump. And the surface pump save petrol compared to the submersible pump. Now, when you're using borehole, submersible borehole, you need submersible pump, you need tank, because the quantity of water that is coming from here is low. So you need to save the water before you can discharge it to your farm. So you need pumping machine like this inside the borehole. Then you need source of light, electricity. And in today's Nigeria, we know there's no electricity. So because there's no electricity, it means you need a generator. It means fuel. And fueling generator for submersible pump is costly compared to when you source for water at the surface like this. I hope you can still hear me. My network is saying low system resources, but I'm recording, and sometimes I'm very fast because of some of the network. So please, are you still with me? Let me know if you're still with me, so that I'm not just talking to myself. But anyway, you still get the class, but I want you to be with me so that you can ask questions. So these are the 2 alternatives you have. Then there's still some questions. So these are the 2 alternatives and the advantages and disadvantages of using them for your farm. Now, the number 2 question, good. Okay, you can hear me. Thank God, I'm glad. I always ask that question so that it won't just be, if you are here, you should be able to get everything. My network is saying low system resources, but actually, we'll still push it through. Now, the second question, the other question, it said, you mentioned creating a dam. How is that done? Okay, there's something we call rain harvesting. Actually, in one of the classes, because this is our 3rd or 4th day now, there's still a lot of classes for the next, actually it's 31 days. I make sure there's a class on the 31st. So the classes goes to 31 days, but you have something every day for the classes. And then we come every Saturday to do review like this. Now, you mentioned creating a dam. How is that done? So now look at this. It is done through water or rain harvesting. You see all these dams that you see Like maybe in your area, you might see dam, like northern, every state in Nigeria has got dams. Every state in Nigeria have dams. And these dams, they have specific function they do. How did they do this dam? They were created. The dams did not just get there. If you see water dam, water reservoir and everything, it was not that the water just started staying there. No, these were created. The dams were built. They were constructed. There's a way they design the dams. So I'm not asking you to go and design the big dams like the ones for the big dams, the ones for the big no, but there are mini dams that we create. Now, how do we create it? Initially, I said you need a specialist to do that for you. Yes, because this practice helps farmers reduce their reliance on irrigation. It also helps conserve soil and water resources while improving crop yields. Rainwater harvesting can also protect crop against drought, flood, and other weather-related factors. Now, you need an hydrogeologist to do that for you. Now, I will explain. Before you can create a mini dam, you still need an area where it's already storing water by itself, as in waterlogged area. If you have a waterlogged, please, instead of raising hand, just drop your questions in the comment in the chat box. I will see it and I will respond to it. Please drop your questions, the comment in the chat box. I will respond to it and then we can continue. I saw somebody raising hand. That's why I mentioned that. So these dams, you need, number one, for you to create a dam, a rain harvesting area, you need a waterlogged area, maybe somewhere where water is always staying. Even in dry season, water will still stay there. There are places like that. You need something like that. It means it already has its own source of water reservation. So all you need to do when we are creating a dam is expanding it, as in excavating it and expanding it for it to have more space to store water next year. So that is how you create rain harvesting. In Kenya, not only Kenya, I remember when I was looking for this rain harvesting, I wrote a letter and I wrote an email. I wrote an email to a company in Ghana, and they respond to me telling me how to somehow create it and everything. But you need, like I said, you need an hydrogeologist to help you create a mini dam. But if they need to check the area, know whether the area will be able to retain or be able to absorb the quantity of water you want to keep there. So these things are created. There's no natural dams. Most of them are artificial dams created by the government, but there are mini dams you can create by yourself. Sorry, I'm answering the questions in the comment box. You can go through the videos. I'm recording these conversations, this discussion class, and I will send it to the Telegram group for everybody to go through it again. Another question, for the borehole, do you have an idea of how much industrial borehole can cost? And the solar too, I will appreciate if you can help with this, as I don't have surface water close to me. So my answer here, as of February 2024, this year, I tried to drill a borehole, and I took the company to my farm. One, before you drill a borehole, you need to do a geophysical survey. Depending on the area where you are, geophysical survey may cost 30K, it may cost 50,000, depends on the area, it may be 100,000. Depending on your area, you need to first do a geophysical survey. When you do the geophysical survey, it will read, they have something they used to read it. It will now tell you whether there will be water at that particular spot or at the depth where you will likely get water. Sometimes they might mess it up, but if you have a good geophysicist, they should be able to get to this. Now, when you do the geophysical survey, the borehole as of January 2024, the calculation as of February 2024, this year, just about 3 months ago, the calculation they gave me is about 1.5 million. Like I said, it depends on the area where your farm is. If your land is in Abeokuta, please, you cannot use 1.5 million to drill a borehole. You'll be spending about 2 million, 3 million. Depending on the area, like I keep saying, some areas have rock more than each other. If it's rock, it means it's a bigger machine that need to break in through, that need to drill, as in drill through those rock before they get to the water. Abeokuta side are quite expensive. So it depends on the area where you're farmer. My area is about 1.5 million. I don't know what the cost will be today. I'm telling you, 3 months ago's cost. Now, like I said, you need a geophysical survey. Don't attempt a bore without a geophysical survey. I'll give you one advantage to that. And make sure if you are calling a geophysicist to come and do a borehole on your farm, make sure the company has a drilling rig, so that when they did the survey, they will give you the reading. They will also be the one to do the drilling. When they did survey and they say, you can get water at 100 meter, or you can get water at 50 meter. Okay, fine. Since you guys said I can get water at 20 meter or at 30 meter, then come and drill the borehole. When you drill the borehole, since you are the one that said there will be water there will be water there. If you give them that kind of, you don't need to tell them that, just tell them, okay, do the geophysical survey and then come and do the borehole. Since they are the one that told you there will be water at 30 meter, it is their machine that read for you. So if they get there and there's no water, most times they are liable to be, they will go and look for another place to drill for you. That was the experience I have in 2015. And I've been having that experience because I worked with a geology company when I was as an undergraduate in school. As an undergraduate. So when they drill, when you make sure they are the one that did the geophysical survey and they are the one drilling, if they don't find the water, they will be forced to find the water for you. But if you do a geophysical survey with a company and then you went to another company to come and drill, the company that did the geophysical survey has done and they are gone. So when you call the other company to come and drill and they didn't get water, they will tell you you didn't do geophysical survey with them. Or, they'll give you one kind of excuse. They are not, because you just gave them the spot and said, drill this place. So they are not liable to find water for you wherever. So please just note that. And the solar. Please, if you think I'm fast, just write in the chat box. If you know I'm too fast, sometimes I can be very fast. Just drop your comments in the chat box. I will read it and slow down a bit. Now, the question still on the solar pumping machine, the cost of the solar, I guess. There are two methods of installing solar. There are two methods of installing solar. A bit fast, okay. Okay, sorry. I'll slow down. Let me breathe in, breathe out, and slow down. I'm sorry about that. I know I'm always a bit fast sometimes. Okay, now for the solar pumping machine. Solar means you don't want to use electricity, especially for, when we were discussing the first part, we told you if you are using borehole, you need electricity, and we know the way electricity is in Nigeria of today. So you might have to go solar. You might have to plan your solar pumping machine along. There are two methods of using solar. The first one, for people that are using solar at home, like in my house, I already have solar, which use battery, inverter, and all this stuff. So if you are using that type of solar, battery and inverter, you just need to increase. Maybe you need double 200. I'm using 200 something battery. I don't know what they call it. So you might need to have about 400, and then your solar panel, you need about 2,400 watts of solar. With that, you will carry. But if you are not using that battery stuff, you can also use solar pumping machine. There is a solar pumping machine. There's a direct solar pumping machine that you can buy. So when you put solar pumping machine in your bowl, there's no need for the inverter or the battery or whatever, all those ones again. It's just connect directly to the panel and you pump your water. So that's about solar. But as of last year, when I was discussing with a colleague, the solar pumping machine is about 390,000. But please note, these prices must have changed. These prices must have changed. These prices must have changed. So I read okay, let me put it this way. Somebody said, can you give contact of the borehole drilling company? Do I have to sign a contract with them so in case they didn't get water at the spot, they can read again and locate another place? They won't sign contract with you, but actually when they come, if they have a good geophysical, they have a geophysical, they have a good machine for the survey, for the geophysical survey, they will get exactly where the water is. They won't sign any agreement with you. I'm sorry, this is Nigeria, but I'm just telling you, giving you an idea of the best way to go about it. Just tell them, you guys will get me if you do the geophysical survey, are you sure you are going to get water for me? If they've assured you, yes, they will find it for you. Even if they don't find, they will find another space. But if you don't ensure that, don't ask them that promise, they might, most of them will find. But when you do at different places, you have issue. Now, they will do, most times they do about 3 or 4 readings in your place, in the place you give them. Don't give them place, just say, okay, this area. So they will move around and do 3 or 4 readings and choose the one they feel, okay, this place should have water, so that you can do your whatever. So they will not sign, they don't sign it. It's just that they will give you a geophysical readings. They are supposed to give you a reading. When you did the geophysical survey, they will give you a paper, a reading, as in, okay, we'll locate it at also place, they will give you a reading. But mostly what I do, the first borehole I drilled, what I did was, I told them, immediately they did the geophysical survey, I told them to move to the farm and do the drilling. And the first place they were drilling was giving them issue. Yes, they were having problem there, but they said I should not worry. After like a day or so, they removed their machine and moved to another spot. And the other spot was very good. I've been using the water since 2015 with no issue. Okay, now, going to the solar, I hope I make sense of what I just explained now. You just have to be friendly with them, but make sure it's a good company. It's a company that have the geophysical survey materials, and also they have a rig. When you talk of contact, I don't have their contact. Hey, if you are in a Ibadan area, I can give you my cousins. My cousins are into the same thing, but they don't move their machine to a far places unless you have about 3 or 4. Like for instance, I want to drill a bore in my area in Shakia. If I don't have about 3 or 4 people that also want to drill, they will not come. You know, the distance, logistics and everything, they will not come if you don't have about 4 or 3. So it has to be a drilling rig that is close to you. They won't come if it's a far place. Not only them, every one of them, the machine is the logistic is cumbersome somehow. Now, and the solar, somebody is asking for the cost of the solar, like I just said, it's about 390,000, but you know, well, I don't know the current price, but I'm giving you, this is last year's price. And you may be lucky to get it cheaper. And then the panels, I bought 200 watts for 60K last year. I bought 200 watts of solar panel for 60K last year. My family is at Gambari Ogbomoso Expressway, no, but then you need to look for somebody close to Ogbomoso. You need to find companies that are close to where you are to reduce the cost, yes. So like I said, I bought 200 watts for 60K last year. I don't have idea of the current price for panels, if you want to use panels. And then, so this is the solar. And then when you are installing solar on your farm, please ensure you have security on your farm. These days now, they steal panels. What these guys move on the farm now is panels. You know, people are now using it for house. A lot of people are using it in the house and everything. So it's highly marketable. I know these people. So you need security on your farm if you are using solar panel. It's either your farm is fenced or you have a security. It's better to be fenced if you can afford. In my own case, my farm is not fenced, but I'm having issues like I'm thinking of installing CCTV before I put solar. Because if you think of buying petrol, currently in my place, petrol is 1,000 per liter. You can imagine. When petrol was 220 per liter, I was using 15 liters per day on the farm during dry season. Now that it's 1,000, you see, they don't nearly kill me. So that is that about it for panel. I hope I answered that question. If you have some other questions from the classes we've been doing, you can still drop them. I'll pick them up. But I'm attending to the questions I picked from the Telegram. Somebody said, but I'm finding it very Google video. You cannot watch Google video. You cannot download it. You cannot put it offline. You have to use it on their website. Please, can you convert them to YouTube version for easy access? No, I cannot. I can't. Yes, I intentionally had those videos I put for you were the first classes I did. I'm going to 2 years now. Yes. And I feel there are a lot of things we will learn from them. If you notice, I usually had videos to, maybe I've discussed a topic and I find out that I've discussed the same topic in video. But you know, as I'm discussing with you now, if this kind of question comes up in the next 1 month or 2 months, I will explain different things. It will relate to each other, but the kind of explanation will be different. So that's why you see some of the places I will just add VDR. So if it's an addition for you, like, okay, this is a class I've done about